right, today we are going to break down one of the most important numbers for any business out there, the cost of goods sold, or COGS for short. And by the end of this, you'll have a super simple step-by-step way to figure it out, which is going to unlock a way deeper understanding of your business's health. So let's dive in.
So let me just kick things off with a question for all you business owners. Do you really know how much profit you're making? I mean, truly? The answer to that is kind of hidden in a number you absolutely have to master. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle today.
So what on earth is COGS? Well, put simply, it's the grand total of all the direct costs that go into making the stuff you sell. You can think of it like the bottom line price tag for creating your product before you even think about what you're going to sell it for.
Okay, so what actually goes into this number? Well, it can include a whole bunch of production costs. But to keep things clear and simple today, we're going to focus on the two main building blocks. First, the raw materials you use, and second, the direct labor, the people who actually make the product. We'll combine these to find our core cost. So let's start with that first building block, material costs. This is literally everything physical that becomes a part of your final product. Let's make this real with a simple example. Imagine you have a candle business. To find your material cost, you just add up every little piece. So in this case, that's $2 for the wax, $1 for the wick, and 50 cents for the fragrance oil. Yep, it's really that straightforward.
And boom, that gives us our first key number, $3.50. That is the total material cost for one single candle. Got it? Okay, piece one is done.
Now for our second building block, labor cost. This is what you pay the people who are physically taking those raw materials and turning them into the awesome product you sell.
And the process here is just two easy-peasy steps. First, you figure out the total amount you paid for a production run. Then, you just divide that total by the number of things you made. That's it. That gives you the labor cost for one single item.
Let's go back to our candle example. So let's say it takes 2 hours of work and you pay $15 an hour to produce 10 candles. Okay, that's a total labor cost of $30. Then we just divide that $30 by the 10 candles we made, and that gets us to our per unit labor cost.
And there's our second key number, $3. That's the direct labor cost that goes into each and every candle. So now we have both of our components. We're ready to put them together.
Okay, so we've built our separate blocks of material and labor costs. Now comes the really satisfying part, putting it all together to find out exactly what it costs to make just one of your products. And this combined number, it has a name. It's called your unit COGS, and it is the total all-in cost to produce one single unit. This is your true cost per item. And the calculation could not be easier. We just take our material cost, that was $3.50, and we add our labor cost of $3, and that gives us our total unit COGS. So here it is, the magic number, $6.50. Every single time you make one candle, it costs you exactly $6.50. You know, knowing this number is the absolute foundation for smart pricing and planning your profit. Now look, knowing the cost for one item is amazing, but businesses sell more than one, right? So let's zoom out a little bit to the big picture and figure out the total cost of goods sold for a whole bunch of sales. This is the final step, and honestly, it's just one easy multiplication. You take your unit COGS, our $6.50, and you multiply it by the number of units you actually sold. So let's pretend we sold 100 candles. And that gives us our final number for today, $650. That is the total cost that is directly tied to the 100 candles you sold. From right here, you can subtract this number from your total sales to find your gross profit. How cool is that? So why does all this matter so much? Because understanding your COGS isn't just some boring accounting thing. It's like a foundational piece of business intelligence. It really puts you in the driver's seat. It's like a new business superpower. I mean, think about it. When you know this number, you can price your products with total confidence because you know exactly where your profit begins. It lets you really look at your expenses, spot where you might be wasting money, and make smart moves to improve your bottom line. Ultimately, it's all about taking something that seems really complex and just making it manageable. You know, like the quote says, business doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be simplified. And this is a huge step in that direction. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Now that you have the tools to calculate your true costs, what's the very first thing you're going to look at in your own business? What's the first change this new clarity is going to empower you to make? Thanks for joining me.